Hello, Deepak. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Okay, can we just
yeah,
start a meeting?
you're audible now.
Okay, this is the very first video session, uh, our webinar on SQL. So today I am going to use SQL Server Management Studio, that is IDE platform to use Microsoft SQL Server. As you know, SQL, that we also abbreviate as SQL. The full form is Structured Query Language. So in this webinar, I will tell you how you can start using SQL language with SQL Server Management Studio. That's a Microsoft tool that we also call as Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, so whenever you are going to use this product, Microsoft SQL Server, you have to install it. There is open source software is also available, that is called SQL Express, that anybody can download from the Microsoft site, MSDN website, and can start using it and can write any kind of queries in SQL. As you know, SQL is totally based on tables, and table is a collection of column and rows, where column contains field information that we also call attributes, and the row contains a tuple information, a record information. Okay, so first, in this webinar I will show you how you can connect with a SQL Express that I am expecting you already installed on your machine, and then I will show you how you can create database and different kind of tables. And in further webinar, I will also tell you how you can create procedures, triggers, functions for different purposes. Okay, so first you have to look for SQL Server Management Studio. I already downloaded it. It's a 2017 version, and anybody can download from the MSDN. So just typing here SQL Server Management Studio, and this will let you to a Microsoft website. Here the latest version of SQL Server Management Studio is available, that is called SSMS, and anybody can download it from here and install to your machine. As you can see here, it's a around 539 MB file. It's a whole software that contain SQL Express. And
So, Tabe, is it also available for Linux people?
no, Microsoft
No.
product is only available for Windows
Okay,
operating
okay, okay.
system.
Got you.
And when you
So,
are
do we
using,
have any? Do we have any other platform which provides us online uh, services to use SQL Server? So
okay,
we can create the tables online.
you can use different cloud platform like
Yeah,
Azure or
right.
Amazon. From there you can create your own VM, and on your own virtual machine you can install this software or many of the other software, and you can do your development or production things. And so there is a lot of cloud platform. Just as I told you, Google is also providing a cloud platform. Using that service, Google service, you can create your own VM. Amazon, Google, and Azure. Okay, it's a Microsoft product. Azure. GoDaddy is also providing your virtual machines, so you can buy it from there and you can use it. But it's pretty easy to use Windows operating system on your laptop, so you can uh, use the Microsoft any of the Microsoft product. So SQL or the Microsoft product, SQL is a language that you can use in a different database management system, relational database management system. You know, in initial many users or the different versions of database are available. So Initially, many of the users use Pros, Oracle, and now also no, Oracle is very popular. And for the open source thing, user are using that's what we call MySQL. Okay, that's the open source. But Microsoft is also providing you SQL Server Management Studio and SQL Express for free that you can download from this website and start doing the development or for your hands-on practices. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay.
I already
So,
downloaded this software, so I am canceling it. Okay, there's a
sure,
lot of
sure.
videos are available on the online, so by using that you can follow next and steps and you can finish the installation, and then you will find the SQL Server Management Studio. Then you have to open that this particular IDE. Then I am expecting when SQL Express is already installed on a machine, then an instance will be created. That instance, initial instance, is called SQL Express. Okay, that is already available
Okay,
on your local host after installation of this particular management studio. Then here the first step, when you will open this window, SQL Server Management Studio, and then a small dialog pop-up will be available here. By using that, you can directly connect to your instance, SQL instance. Otherwise, if you cancel that particular dialog, then you can click on this database engine here in the Object Explorer. If you can't able to find the Object Explorer, means this is closed already when you open the SQL Server Management Studio, then you can click on this view button and then Object Explorer. Okay, here the first button called
okay,
connect, and then you have to choose database engine. Here the first thing, very important thing, is SQL server name that should be installed. When you will install a SQL Express, then the instance will be created just like this. Math is my local computer name, or you can just write it here, local host. Okay, that is also fine. And then the instance name. If you are not able to see anything here, means this is empty, then you can click on this
okay,
particular drop down button and then click on browse for more. Then you will find a local server and a network. If you have a different network server with your attached with your computer, then you will find some network server information over here from which you can connect your TV server. So in the local server, I'm going to meet you for a second. Okay, can you please meet yourself? Is that possible?
yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Okay. Sorry. Here on the local server, you can find all the instances. I have two instances over here because I also installed some another application called Microsoft Dynamics Nav. That's why the another instance is here called Nav Demo. And this is the by default SQL Express instance that is also available here. Math is my local computer name. If you have any computer name, that will be visible here. In my case, Math is a local computer name, then the instance name. So I choose this SQL Express and click OK. So here it comes server name and SQL Express. As I told you, Math is my local computer name, so I can also write here local host. This is also the same thing. Another thing is authentication. Here you can find different kind of authentication. First one is window authentication. If you are using your personal computer, then you will find you can use window authentication because everything is installed on your computer, because you have a local admin right, and the thing is here, you are on your window computer, so window authentication is gonna work for you. So in my case, I will use window authentication. And another authentication is SQL Server authentication. Is SQL Server authentication. In this case, the login and the password is required. You can use any login name here that is already available on any of the server or in this particular computer. Then you have to provide the login name and the password. Then you are able, and then you can connect. Click on connect button, and the database or the SQL instance will be available. So also you can see there are also three different type of authentication related to Active Directory. Active Directory works fine when you have a several different computer attached to a network, and their IT team is also managing a Active Directory for that. So in that case, here is Active Directory will work for any person. So I will not gonna cover Active Directory thing here. I will show you how to connect with the window authentication, and later on I will also tell you how to connect with the SQL Server authentication. So here I used window authentication, and then I clicked on connect button. Then in the Object Explorer, everything will be available that is related to this particular window authentication. The my computer name and the username that who is using this system is Fariz. Okay, Math is my local computer name and the Fariz is my username. Again, here when I choose SQL instance, then you can also see here a different kind of folders right here. The first one is database. Here you can find all the database that is available in the particular instance, and then security. Security is related to the logins. So whatever the login you have to provide, you can create different logins here. You can see here math and math is already here. This is the local computer name and this is the internal name maths. So I have the authentication for window. Another is server roles. We can also define different server roles here. I will cover it later. Credential, all these things is related to security for the login purposes. You can see the third folder is related to server objects. Here, all these things are mostly empty because we didn't create anything in that. Okay, and then there is a replication thing in the provider. Different kind of also provider is available with the SQL Server Management Studio. That is that you can see here. OLDB connection. OLDB is a very simple connection that most of the Access DB developer is used for connection, providing the connection with a different application. Here's a replication thing. Here different kind of local subscription is comes under the application. Then you can create different kind of subscription to access the database. Polybase, I am not able to use this feature because I didn't install it. In future, I will try to integrate with the Polybase also. In the management, you can find a different kind of management policies, extended events. You can extend a different kind of event for the different purposes. Based on the requirement, you can also get your own events. And here you can find a SQL Server log. Whatever the log, if anything happened or error log or something is will be available here. And then X event profiler. The basic is standard and another is transact SQL. Transact SQL is every transaction will be you can find under the profiler. You can run a profiler and you can see what is happening when you run any query or you do something with the SQL. So you can also run the profiler by using this. So now let's start with the very simple thing. I will show you how you can create a database and create a simple basic tables in that. As you can see, if when I expand these databases, you can see here different databases are available. First one is Adventure Works. This is a very simple sample database that you can find online and you can install on your machine. I have different other different applications here. Sorry, I have other different databases for the different purposes. I also have Northwind database that is also sample database. And you can see here I also created a test DB for my testing purposes. I have some tables here in it. Okay, employee details, person details. You can create a database from here, or you can just write a new query for creating database. First, before going to create a database, I want to delete some databases. Okay, just for deleting a database, you can right click on a database, click on delete. A dialog box will be opened, and here you just have to do one thing: click OK. This will execute the transact SQL query, and this will delete the database. So these database I'm not going to use for any purposes, so I am deleting these databases. So this is so fast now. This database contains a lot of information, millions of records, but it deleting in some seconds. Okay, so I told you you can create a database with these two options. First one is available out of the box. You can just click on this new database and you have to provide some name to your database, or you can use a new query. So first I will show you how you can create a database out of the box. I click on new database, a dialog will be open again. where you have to give a name to your database. Here, the first option is asking what will be the database name. So I am giving a database name is 23 Fab Test DB. You can see this will create a two different kind of database files. Okay, the first name for the database files is 20 Fab Test DB, and second one is log. Log contains all the log information in that. This will also create LDF and MDF file. Log contains LDF, and first one is contains will the extension for the first logical name will be MDF. Okay, uh, and these two files will be created on these locations. You can see the path here. I'm copying it and opening the path. See, there are different database. Whatever the database I was having here, all are database available here. Okay, so now I click add. Sorry, this is not. Sorry. Okay, I click OK. This is executing the query, and if you can see here on the folder explorer, a new database is created with two file name. One is MDF and second one is log. MDM, this is contains all the record information, table information, everything here, and this contains log information. Okay, so you can see the database is here. Initially I didn't create any table, but you can find some different tables by default here. The tables, you can see system tables available, file tables available, external tables, and graph tables. So I didn't create any system tables, so these all are empties. Another section is view. Here you can create your own views, or you can see some system views. These are the by default views available by the system that you can use for different purposes. Another thing is external resources. You can connect external data sources for getting some information from the external data source, or you can also attach external file formats. This is synonyms. You can also use synonyms for the different purposes. I will show you later. And this is a very important thing, programmability. In this, you are able to you are able to create some procedures, functions, and database triggers, rules, default, and sequences. I will show you later how you can create triggers and the procedures in the system. And these are the another important things is service broker, storage, and the security. Security is a very important thing when you want to create some users for this database. So the only that particular user can access this DB, then you can create a user from here by using this new user button. So this is the new database that I created using out of the box using this new database option. Now I will show you how you can create a database using new query. So when query come into the focus, actually into the play, at that time you have to use a language. The language that this system understand, this application understand, this my SQL Server Management Studio understand, that is SQL, structured query language. So the basic query for creating a database is just write create. It's a simple English word, create. So means I'm saying the system I'm going to create something. Create, and use this particular command, this particular snippet, or you can just type this text database. Means I am going to create a database, so that's why I write create database, and then you have to give a name to your database. This is also simple. As you see, you can use direct this option, database and new database, or you can write a query. Query is a SQL query, structured query language. So create database and the name of your database. I said it Fab 2013 webinar DB. Okay. Now you can execute this particular query, this particular command using two options. Either you can directly click on this execute button, or you can see a shortcut there, F5, or you can press F5. This will execute your query. So Click on execute. In the result option below, you can see command completed successfully. Means a database has been created into the system. Now here I think, as you can see here, no, this DB is not available here. But when you refresh it, the root folder of database, you can find your DB here. February 2013 webinar DB. Now go to that particular folder. See, in this case, you will not able to find. I am include another thing here. Date created here. Again, two files has been created. One is MDF, another is LDF, and the size is very less, 8 MB and 8 MB. Now, another command I want to tell you about that you can use with database, that is actually called DDL commands. DDL commands. It called data definition language. Okay, this contains some important command when you are working with your schema, structure, architecturing the system. Then you can use DDL commands. Okay, so there are few commands that we can use in DDL with DDL: create, drop, alter, truncate, and many others. I will tell you later. These are the basic commands that we use with DDL. That is also called the statement that we use with these commands are called DDL statements. So I showed you how you can use create for creating a database. Create is also used for table schema. When you want to create a table, then you also have to use create because it's going to define something. Means when you are creating something, then you have to use DDL commands. Again, we have different kind of other statement commands, that is DML. It's called data manipulation language. It contains insert, up, update, delete. Okay, these are the basic commands that you can use under DML. And then another statement command are DQL. That a user can also say that data query language. In this, there is only one command that mostly we use: select. And the last one is DCL. It says data control language. This contains some other important command called grant and revoke. I will tell you all I will discuss about all these statements and commands in another webinar also. So let's have a little bit brief introduction about this. Create is always used when you want to create something in with using the SQL language. Create is used when you want to create a database, when you want to create a table, when you want to create a procedure, view, trigger, indexes, then you have to use create. Drop is used when you want to delete something with their schemas, with their structure, all the definitions. Then you can use drop. Means if you created a database and you want to delete the database, then you can use drop command. You want to delete table, then you can use drop command. For indexes, for procedures, for views, for triggers, you can use drop command. to deleting with their schema. Another is alter. Let's suppose you want at some stage you want to change your database name. Then you can use alter command. You want to change table name, then you can use alter command. Same thing applicable with different other kind of things, that is views, procedure, indexes, triggers. And another important command is truncate. Truncate is very specific command. In an interview, most of the interviewer ask a question related to truncate and delete. What's the difference between truncate and delete? Truncate actually delete all the table records with their schema. With their schema means, if let's suppose you created a table and you inserted 10 rows or 10 record in that particular table and you use truncate command, then truncate command delete all the records from the table with their spaces, with their memory space, with their schema, or sorry, with their actually with their memory spaces. Let's suppose you created a table and you used a primary key in the table and then also used auto increment. Okay, auto increment is something like that. You created an employee table and there is a three field called employee ID, name, and the salary, and their ID is a primary key with auto increment, and you inserted 10 records in that table. Then the first record ID will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 10, and you execute truncate command. Then it will delete all the records from the table, and when again you insert something in that table, then the ID for the another first record will be 1 again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But when you use delete command, let's suppose you created again, you have 10 entries in the table and you delete all the records from the table. But when you insert another entry, another record in the table, the ID will be 11, not start from the 1. That's the difference between truncate and delete. Delete will not remove the spaces, memory spaces. So record again, when another record will be inserted in the table, it will take another, it will assign another ID number to that record. Means if you deleted 1 to 10, then another ID will be for another record will be 11. But if you use truncate, then the sequence will start from 1, from initial. Means from 1, 2, 3, 4 again you can insert a record. So truncate is basically used to delete all the records from the table with their spaces. Now move to DML commands. Data manipulation language, as you can see, if you want to manipulate something, update something, you want to do something, or you want to play with data or the record, then you have to use DML statements, DML commands. The first very important command is insert, to insert any record, any information into a table. Another is update. If you want to modify some record that you already have in the table, then you can use update command. Third is delete. If you want to delete the information from the table, you can use delete command. But this will not, delete command will not delete the record with their spaces. Space will be there, but you can't use it. The reference will be lost. So that is the actual difference between delete and truncate. Another type of statement is DQL. It's a data query language that is basically used to get information from the table, get information from the database. So this contains one very important command, that's a select statement. Select statement you can use to fetch information from the different tables, and there is also different kind of operations you can use with select, just like inner join, cross joins, join operations, clause. You can use different kind of clauses. You can use different kind of inner queries also to get information from the table. So whenever you want to get information from the table or fetch information from the table, then you have to use select statement. That's the purpose of data query language, to give information or to retrieve information from the database. Another is grant and revoke. It's you can see data control language as its name. You can control the different things control the permission of a particular user on a particular table or particular database. You can grant something to a user. You can get back to the access from the table by using revoke command. So grant and revoke used for actually access permission purposes. When you want to give something, some access to a user, so this information should be placed and this information should not be retrieved, then you can use grant or revoke in that case. I will show you in later sessions. So as so far, we created a database that called February 23rd webinar DB. Now let's create a table here. Can you tell me, Deepak, what's the syntax for creating a table, if you know already?
So it's, I think, create
Create
table name, and then
table,
the fields,
table
table
name.
name,
So can I
like
just name it
whatever
employee?
we can.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, right.
This is the range. And as I discussed about ID, so I am using ID here
Okay,
and
the fields.
using integer. Okay, it's integer. This will contains
Okay, fine.
numeric values in it. And I want to create a primary key. ID will be the primary key for this table. So I'm going to use just primary key. And then, as I told you, auto increment. Now, when talking about auto increment, then we
Okay,
have to set identity. The first information will be from where you are going to start and what will be the increment value. So the name will be for the next column will be name. This contains employee name information. I am making varchar. Varchar actually contains all the text information. If you want to store some text information, then you can use varchar. I will also tell you different types of data types. What are the different types of data types are available in SQL, or you can explore it and let me know if you have any confusion with the data types. This will be your homework. Okay. Another, I am going to make it salary, and the data type for this is the decimal. Okay, the decimal values, because salary also always have some point information, point values, so that's why I'm using decimal data type here. One another important thing, what will happen when I just execute here? When I execute this command, this will create a table in master database, because you can see we have a available database option here. Whatever the database you will choose from here, in that database a table will be created. So when you want to use your own database, then you can either use a query, or you can select that database from here. This is very simple, selecting a database from here. But if you want to do it from a query, then you have to use another command called use and the database name. When I will execute this command, this will change the value of this text box from master DB with your database name. See, when I click use and this change the value. When I use again use master and execute this command, this change to master. Understand? I am commenting all these things. Now, I am going to create my table. When I execute this, you will see a message here, command completed successfully. Means a table is created in this particular database that we created earlier. How you can see your table is available here? Either you can write a select statement here. As I told you, you can retrieve information using select statement. The Syntax for that is select star from table name. What's the table name here? Employee. Again, execute this command. If everything is okay, then you will see in the result tab the name of your columns or fields or attributes, ID, name, and salary, but without any data information because we don't have any record. Another thing, you can expand your table, you can expand your database and the table, and you can find your all the table under table folder. So here, this is my database, February 2013 webinar DB, and under table folder, a table has been created here, employee table. So this is the table that we created using the query. Another option for creating a table is also out of the box. Means very simple. Simple. Just you have to give a name for the columns or the fields or attributes and the data types. Let's see how you can do it. Right click on your table folder and choose table from here. This will give you a very pretty simple window on the screen where you can provide a column name. So I want to create another table called departments, which contains department ID first, department ID, and the data type for this is again integer. Allow null. I am saying I don't want to insert a null value into this column, so I deselect it. And another, I want to say department name. This is another column, and want to say varchar 50. This will store 50 characters in this particular column. Now, I showed you how you can create a primary key where using query. This is the syntax for that. Write primary key here, and for incrementing value, you can use identity. But how to uh, actually how to set from this screen and to make a column to a primary key and set auto increment value. So for that purpose, you have to select your column first, and in the column property window that you can see here in the below of the screen, you have to look for identity specification. It says identity specification. The first column is identity, means is this column is a primary key. You said yes, this is my primary key, and it automatically set identity increment and identity seed. Seed is the starting value, and the increment is uh, how much value you want to add for the another record. Let's say I set it to 10. So if the first value is 1, then another value will be 11. Okay, everything is done. Now you have to save. Now you have to save this particular table. You have three options. First option is use shortcut Control S. This will give you another dialog window where you can provide name for a table. Another is this particular simple save button. Third one is save all. You can use save all, but in that case you have to give a name to every open tab. So when you click on save all, then you also have to give name to this particular query window, to this particular SQL file. I do not want to do that, so I just hit Control S or use this button. This is asking for the name of the table. I write departments, and click OK. This created another table into the system. Refresh this particular folder. This is expanding. Here you can see a department table is created. Okay, now we have have two tables here. First one is employee, second one is department. Let's see, if we have a table, then we are able to insert some record in that table. So first I will show you how you can do it using query, and then I will show you how you can insert records using out of the box feature, means using the SQL Server Management Studio other features. So let's hide this. For commenting any of the line, you can use a shortcut called Control KC CTRL plus K plus C. This is a command for commenting any of the line, and or you can directly use this two dash. This will do a comment for you. So let's insert some records into employee table. So the insert query syntax is insert and then the table and the table name. Here table name is employee. Now you have two options. Let's suppose you want to insert a value in only in name field, name column. Then you can directly define a column name here and then write values, and here in this particular uh, inverted comma you can write your value, like Deepak, and save. Now execute this command. It said table is incorrect because you I forget one thing here.
Into.
Yeah, that's the right one.
Okay.
I was expecting it. Again, is this will gonna give an error or this will execute? Say, okay, no problem. This will give us an error because we do not have to write table here.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It says we are going to insert values into employee table. Just I press F5 to execute the command. You can see here one row affected. A value, a record is inserted into employee table, but only in the name field. I executed a select star from employee. You can see ID is automatically assigned to 1 because I said that identity 1 is the seed value that from where the sequence will start, and this is the incremental value. Okay, in name column we can see Deepak, but in salary you can find null because we didn't insert it in this column. When you want to insert something in this column, you can use this same syntax and provide another column name here, salary. If you execute this, this will show us an error because we want to insert some values in two columns, name and salary, and only provide one value, name. So I write here Faraz and the salary is 1000. And again, execute this command. One row affected. Now going to run select query, execute it. Second row inserted, and the ID is 2 now. Name Faraz and salary is 1000. Now another insert query is when you know you want to insert a record and into all the fields, then you can write insert into employee. You can write values here directly and provide name here, the first field information, and the second field information. 1500. Execute this query. Again, one row affected. Select a star from employee. See, third value, third record is inserted into the table. This is the first select query. You can use it, write a select query like this and get all the table values from here. Or you have another option here. If you do not want to write select query, then you can choose a table and then choose select top 1000 records. Then this will generate a query by default, and that includes top 1000, and so the result. I hit it. This open a new tab, open, and the query is same. Select top 1000 and the field names, whatever the field name we want to show. If we want to show all the fields, then we can write just star here. Either we can also define only the field name that we want to see. I remove salary from here and execute the query, then ID and name only available. But when I also include the salary, then it shows ID, name and salary. We do not want to see ID, then we can remove the ID, comma, and this will show name and salary. This is a very simple query that every developer can use it with a different application to get information from a table. Now for the departments, these are the syntaxes that you can use to insert a queries. If you want to use out of the box feature that SQL Server Management Studio is providing to insert a values, for that that is very simple. Also, you can select table from here and use this particular command, edit top 20 rows. This will open a different tab where you can directly enter the values into the tables. As you know, department only have department ID and the department name, and but department ID is primary key and auto implemented. In that case, you do not have to give a value to department ID. So just provide a department name. First one is computer science and hit tab. See, department ID is generated automatically. 1. And we set incremented value to 10. So now if we enter in for Mason technology another department, then another department ID will be 11, that is generated automatically. This is the very simple out of the box feature of SQL Server Management Studio that you can use to insert values, also viewing the record. So whatever the records is available in the table, you can see here and insert a value to the table. If I close this and again go back to departments and edit, then we are also able to see all the records available into the table, and we can enter another record. Again is commerce. Okay. So Deepak, you have any problem?
No, not yet. So
This is simple.
Yeah, that's very simple.
Okay. Now we have two different tables, and I showed you how you can create table, insert values into it, get information, get all the record from that, and what are the different ways to inserting the information to the table, what are the different ways to get information from the table, and how to create DB, how to use DB. But now I am going to show you how you can delete a particular table, and then I will show you how you can delete a database. Then we will end this webinar and we will connect into the next webinar in which I will show you further queries. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have two tables here. Now I am going to show all two ways that you can use to delete a table. So to delete a table, you can use drop command. That's a DML command. But to delete only records, you can use delete command. Whenever you want to delete only records, then you can use delete and truncate. When you want to drop a schema of anything or you want to delete a structure, then you have to use drop command. I will discuss other manipulation commands in the later session. Only the select and insert is the and drop and create I will actually cover in this particular webinar. So I want to delete a, let's do it, how you can delete employee. Using query, write delete, then you have to write table and the table name, employee. Tell me, if I execute this command, what will happen?
It will delete all the table, sorry, all the records from the employee table.
Yes, this will delete all record from the employee table. What happened?
Okay. So delete table employee. Delete employee it should be, right? There should not be
Delete
table.
employee. Okay. 3 rows affected. Nice. I'm going to execute the select command. You can see again this is empty. Okay. So I told you delete will not
So
delete
one
the.
thing, how I
Say again.
Kapish, how are you executing the select star from employee command? It is commented, right?
Yeah, I am just selecting it. If you want to execute some query that is already commented, only select that particular area that you want to
Mhm.
execute. So you can use your cursor, okay, mouse, and select that particular command and just then use execute or
Okay.
F5. This will execute the query. Where if you select all these lines,
Okay.
then
Okay.
nothing will gonna happen. It says command successfully executed, but return anything because that is
Yeah.
commented. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
all the records is deleted already. Now I want to drop this employee table. Drop, you know, every schema level thing, definition language for that we use here. Always use a particular syntax that says I am going to delete this. So I am going to delete a table. Then I will write drop table name. But delete table name is not going to work. Okay, drop table name, and I execute this command. You can see command completed successfully. If I refresh this table, refresh, you can see employee table is deleted. If you want to do select on employee and execute, you can see invalid object name because this employee table is not available into the system. This object is already deleted. That's why the system give us the application gives us the error.
So do we have any option to revert back if I want to revoke the employee table?
There is no option, but you can use transactions. Okay,
Truncate.
transaction is a different topic. You can do
Okay.
something. You can use begin transactions, end transactions, and also you can write rollback when you deleted something into the transaction and you want to roll back. And after deleting it, you can execute the rollback command. The table will be again will be available into the database. But
Okay. Okay.
after executing the transaction, when you execute a commit command, then there is no option available to get that table again into the database. Okay, that's a different,
Okay.
very important topic. I will tell you later how to use transaction, rollback, and commit. So this is the two options that you can use to delete the table records and delete that particular table with their schema. And now another way to delete it, to drop it, you can right click on the table name. Then you can use this delete option, click on delete. Again, this open a very simple dialog where you can click on OK. This will delete this particular table because this dialog says that delete object means that object, whatever the object you selected, and you are going to execute a delete command, then this will delete the table. This is out of the box feature. When I click on OK, this executed and table is gone. So you have two options. Either you can use SQL structured query language, or you can use out of the box feature of SQL Server Management Studio. Means this integrated platform. Okay. So you have any question
Okay.
so far?
No, no, no.
So we are good. So in next webinar, I will try to cover different DDL commands like truncate and alter. Alter is used for renaming the information or modifying the table schema thing. Truncate is to delete all the records from the table with spaces. And then I will show you how you can use other DML commands like delete. I showed you delete, how to use delete, but with clauses means how to use where clause to delete only some selected records from the table. And another is update command that you can use to update any record information. Okay, so thank you, Deepak. I hope you enjoyed the video and the session. We will connect for
Definitely. Much for the class, the page.
okay. I know I'm actually not gone so fast. As you know, most of my videos on YouTube is in that I actually speak too fast. Okay, but I tried because this is a webinar, so I tried to speak slow so you can understand everything. And if whenever you have any problem, you can stop me there.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's a very
stop.
nice class actually.
Okay, that's nice. Nice to listen that. So, okay, bye for now. We will connect soon. Bye bye.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Bye bye. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.